Good morning once again. We can see that the engagements are quite robust, and that's a good sign. We are ready to proceed with our program. Maybe as a recap of our first session, I think what stood out for me and the rest of the people I've been speaking with in the break is that technology must work. And also another takeout was the one that one of the guests highlighted, that, you know, you get promoted into a leadership position because of your professional background, your qualification. What you know, especially in IT, is how to program, etc. And you don't necessarily talk to people. I once made a comment as I moved from different companies that, wow, it's like IT people are from the same family. I can't say from the same mother, because sometimes you are from the same mother, but you're not the same. But it's like something about them is the same. No one is saying anything. No one shares anything. When you ask them, they tell you that no. They first start with a protest before you can actually discuss. I no longer have that view. I promise, though. It's been kindly changed over time. Loving my business partners in the IT space and the technology space, because we need to work together as we transform the businesses that we are in, and make sure that we get more value, and make sure that we innovate, especially for the different products and the services that our customers need. So as we move on to the next session, I want to introduce some of the panel members that we are going to have. So this is the last part of our program. We are going to have a panel session where we are going to have some industry experts just discussing a bit around the topic of digital transformation. And I have noted, especially it being Women's Month, that the room is quite heavy on the other gender, which is why that we are so proud that other businesses are following through on the accelerating inclusion, especially women in STEM. And we're happy that the room is getting peppered with a few female voices here and there. So with that said, I will call up to the stage Nelsiwe Ndlela. She's the Director ICT Operations at Eswatini Revenue Service. Her profession is she's an IT systems developer with over 20 years working experience in the IT system space. She started working with government computer services as an IT graduate trainee before the year 2000. As IT systems are delivered as projects, she took training in project management. She spent plus 10 years working in the telecommunications sector as an ICT developer through the ranks to managerial positions. She's been with ERS for the past 8 years, where she's now heading the ICT division. As the ERS is pursuing its digital transformation journey, her unit is responsible to ensure digital readiness for the organization. She has an agile mindset, and that has helped her to remain relevant in the IT space. Please clap hands for her. I'll go to the next one. We also have in our panel, Nobile Sino Dlamini, a senior manager at MTN responsible for designing and delivering technology solutions. She's got 18 years experience in the telecommunications industry and leading the delivery of key transformation projects since 2017. She has worked with other MTN operations such as Uganda, Rwanda, Zambia, as part of the IT Shared Services Hub. She has also worked with MTN Group in delivering key transformational projects across the MTN operations. Please join us, Gosi. Let's clap hands for her. We do have one more. We've got Mcebo Shabango, who is currently the head of strategy, business transformation, and marketing at Nedbank. An engineer by profession with over 15 years experience in the telecommunications sector and 3 years in banking. His responsibilities have included engineering, support operations in mobile telecoms, managed services management, ICT strategy, innovation and digital transformation, ICT stakeholder management, ICT financing and resourcing, and of course, ICT client service and product delivery. Having worked for global multinational entities, HPO, high-performance organizations, that cultivated in him much needed work ethics, values, right attitude, abilities and skill sets, integrity and accountability, and above all, love and passion for innovation and technology. Let us welcome Mcebo. Our facilitator for the day will be Mlanvo Simelane. He is a senior manager at MTN Eswatini. He's got quite a number of positions that he has held across the telecoms, and I know one of the utility companies in the country. I call him the smooth operator, and you'll know why in a moment. Let's clap hands from Mlanvo.
Morning again. I think let's do this. Maybe let me to allow our panel to participate. Morning, everyone. I think as mentioned, and thank you, Lungile. My name is Mlanvo Simelane, and I'll be facilitating. So I think what we'll do today, we will have an engagement with the panel, but more importantly, we're also looking for contribution that will be coming from the floor. So do feel free to participate. Do raise your hand. I do believe we should have a roving mic, and as soon as we get your attention, we'll ask for that mic to get close to you. So I think still keeping on with the theme of accelerating digital transformation, one would start probably with a definition of what digital transformation is. But I think much has been said this morning. There was quite an insightful presentation from Brightwell, so I'm not going to be academic. I'll translate it how I've been picking it up. And you will forgive me because most of my analogies, and I don't know if it's the elephant or the person sitting on the elephant, but most of my analogies seem to be a bit off key. But nonetheless, thinking about transformation, I was trying to understand it. So initially, I think my assumption around transformation was around probably teaching an old dog new tricks. But when you think about it, and with the presentation that we've had, it's not quite teaching an old dog new tricks. I think an analogy that then sit with me is probably a caterpillar and the evolution that a caterpillar goes through, where a caterpillar starts off as a worm. From a worm, it goes through this whole changing process, and from this changing process, it comes out as a beautiful butterfly at the end of the day. And I think this is sort of an image that is in my head right now when I think of transformation. And as Lungile has introduced, we've got our panel. So we've got two beautiful butterflies and a caterpillar who will be assisting us then with today's session. So I think maybe just getting into it, let me start off maybe with apologies, my technology is now acting up on me. 1 second. And probably, I think we've also heard about transformation, the need for change, and maybe just for Sino to take us through. When do you know or understand that now we've got to a point where we do need to change?
All right, thank you, Mlanvo. So, as an organization, you come to a point where you realize that, okay, I do need to change. The indications, or should I say, let's say your industry maybe needs disruption. And you have to realize you can run smooth and it's comfortable, but then there's nothing new then that happens in your organization in terms of revenues, your additional customers. So when you get to that point, you realize that your industry now just needs a bit of disruption. You have to introduce that in your organization. You'll see examples, they include your traditional television and rentals. Who still rents a movie now? When Netflix came, they took away that from the traditional television, and the ones who realize or recognize the disruption, they also then have to adapt and say, okay, how do we close this gap? How do we still retain our viewership? When you create that disruption, or you realize the industry needs disruption, then you also sort of cause others to also want to change. And you want, or the indications that you need digital transformations is when you realize that your staff is doing repetitive tasks. That's a waste of time. When you do, or you check online, you realize that if you introduce automation in your processes, the employees, they become more productive because they free up their time from repetitive tasks and use that time to see how can we better be efficient as an organization, what new ideas can we introduce. But if they are busy, bogged down with their repetitive tasks, they don't have time for that, to be creative in their working spaces. And when you realize that as an organization, you're a bit inefficient, you're a bit, you're not managing your costs very well, I think then it is time that you introduce digital transformation. I'm just picking up those two. There are more reasons why you would want to have digital transformation, or you recognize as an organization that you need digital transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sino. So I think just some key points from Sino is that disruption is looking at the processes and how then do we build efficiencies into these. And I think those are actually quite critical aspects. And I think maybe just building on that as well is having and dedicating time, or at least getting people to observe what is happening. Because I think with that in place, that's when you start realizing we're having efficiency problems here, we're probably losing money there. Thank you for that, Sino. So now with that said, let's talk about the key drivers for digital transformation. And this is open to the entire panel and as well as the members on the floor. So panel, tell me and educate me, what are these key drivers for digital transformation?
Thank you, Mlando. In our space, the digital transformation was driven by the need to get our taxpayers, our clients, to comply. Our customers have preferences. I think Brighton mentioned here earlier that they no longer, our customers no longer go to the bank. You go there maybe once in a while. So if you are getting service from another service provider, you have experienced that good feeling of doing things at the comfort of your home. So you would also tend to expect the same from everyone that you interact with. So the customer preferences kind of pushes everyone that is providing service to digitally transform. Other things that also contribute is that in terms of the collaboration with your partners, as they digitally transform, you get left out because everything has moved to the technological space. So somehow the people that you're interacting with if you're still going to remain in the manual service provisioning, you would not be able to tap on the best practices. Sometimes you are pushed into that direction, not by your customers, but by the change in the technology, the technological space. I'll put an example of how Microsoft has moved. If you are still going to use Microsoft as your operational system in terms of your desktop applications, you would no longer remain on-prem because Microsoft has moved. They're now in the cloud. So you get pushed by the technology that is out there in the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Nesiwe. Maybe Mtebo, then we'll go to Sino.
Thanks, Mlando. Maybe before just also giving it to the floor to add some of the key drivers of digital transformation, I just want to add maybe 2 or 3 as well. One of it, team or colleagues, is also the drive for business success. I think we are all coming from private enterprises. There is always pressure from shareholders or from, our clients, as she said. So there's a drive for success, there's drive for profitability, there's drive for continuity of the business. So in a sense, transformation also comes through from our enterprises wanting to make more revenue, but also wanting to reduce cost in our environment. So those quite a big driver as well. If you go to the boardroom, these are quite some of the things that will be talked about. How do you maximize or increase revenue? How do we reduce cost in our environments? The other one, just want to add on, is the issue of productivity. We always want to improve productivity in our enterprises or businesses. This is in terms of if I can produce 2 apples in a day, how about I produce 4 in a day? So that's productivity. So how do you do that? Is transformation. Resources or inputs. Those resources could be human resource, there could be raw materials, there could be anything that we utilize to whatever that we want to output. So I think just maybe before the flow, just to maybe add those 3 in terms of drivers for key digital transformation.
Okay, thank you, Mtebo. So I think members here, we can hear that there's, from the ERS side, there was focus on compliance, there was also focus on the customer, and coming to Mtebo's contributions as well, we're hearing the succeeding. Do you have any questions around maybe these 3 topics that, or with the 3 or 4 that are talking to the key drivers around digital transformation? Thank you. Okay.
So hello everyone, this is Chris from the Huawei Eswatini, and the first thing that we should appreciate for the Mr. CEO, because he built his best network, not just in the Eswatini but also the whole African continent, the network quality. So actually, today's our topic is about the digital transformation, right? But digital transformation, we need the base. What is the base? Base actually is the network. It's connected everyone together with the best quality. But actually, in my mind, I'm always thinking that is for this country, right? So which industry, from your perspective, that is to do the transformation? So we maybe not just one industry, but top 3 or something. Just because all the industry can do the digitalized. But we need a flagship. We need to show the people that why we need a digital transformation and why it can succeed and why it can convenience people and what kind of a benefit can bring to this country. So I just want to hear your suggestion that for this kind of topic, digital transformation, and which industry that you're thinking that should be the first one for that, right? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's an interesting question. Maybe I'll ask Sino to take us first on the response here. Thank you.
I'm not sure I got the question.
So we're talking, where the conversation starts from is MTN has been able to build a great foundation, which does then provide connectivity and a base for any digital transformation that you'd want to, or digital journey that you'd want to embark on. So the question is, with this base that MTN has established, what industry or areas do we believe should be the top 3 that should be leveraging off the space that MTN has created as a flagship, should I say, project, or to demonstrate the benefits of digital transformation? Thanks.
All right, thank you. I think I had missed that. Sorry. You said you are Chris, right? Okay, Chris. I think I don't know if I'll be speaking on behalf of MTN, but I think government should be the main focus for starters, and based on Brightwell's presentation, I think we can see that government is going towards digitalization. We need to digitalize most of the sectors in government. Let's put everything online. It makes it easy for our customers, because or should I say the value of digitalization or digital transformation is to create customer value. So once you have digitalized, most definitely, you are able to improve your customer experience out there. So government being the main focus, in terms of how they start, I think within government, I think they would have to then prioritize which are the main areas. You also want to focus on digitalizing the medical sector. You don't have to only rely on local skills. Medically now, you can do an operation with the support from experts across the globe. So Swaziland should be able to take advantage of that service being available, the networking, and it's available with, even use robotics to do an operation remotely.